Wow, it's already day 12, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Namaste. Today's class will be about tuning up the lower back. It'll be quick, it's simple, but it's so effective. This is a class you can always come back to if your lower back is just like, not feeling you today. So all we need today is a block, or if anything that you don't have a block and you have something that resembles the texture, the shape of a block, use that. Well, we'll go ahead and get it on our mat. So basically start in Shavasana. Have the block in a reachable distance. We actually won't leave our back today. Allow the palms to open, the front of the shoulders to melt. And if your lower back is already saying, or lower back does not like this pose so much, you can bend your knees to neutralize the pelvis a little bit more, especially if you struggle with an overarched curve or overarched arch in your lower back. Taking a moment to arrive, to settle. Allowing the breath to move through you like water. Setting an intention to heal today, to feel today. I want you to feel with every inhale and every exhale, the belly rise on the inhale and the belly falling on every exhale. I'm just noticing this beautiful exchange. Just so we're not breathing into the upper chest, really sending the breath into the belly, the lower ribs. And reach and grab your block. We're going to place it on the flat height today, so the height that is closest to the ground. And place it right underneath the sacrum. And so a lot of people, what they'll do is place it at the lower back, and this does not feel nice. So I want you to feel just the tailbone sacrum area so that it feels like a shelf. It should feel very comfortable here. And then we're going to allow the feet to go the width of the mat. So the feet are no wider than the mat, so you don't want the knees all the way out here. Just allow them to be just the width of the mat. And allow the knees to fall. They don't have to touch, but if they can, please do let them touch. If they can't, just allow them to come in. We're just looking for that action of falling in so that we create space in the pocket of the lowest part of the belly in the sacral lumbar region. If you want to, you can reach the arms overhead. You can cactus the elbows, or again, you can release the hands by the side. Whichever makes you feel most healing. Noticing that pocket of space in the lowest part of the belly, could you aim to fill that space with breath? To fill it with life, feeling the rise and fall. Just to invite a little more traction to the lower back area, could you imagine being stuck to the block with the tailbone, wherever's contacting the block right now? And staying stuck, could you kind of wiggle, without letting the hips move, could you wiggle the torso a little further away, even if it's just, not even an inch, less than an inch. It'll make a huge difference in the way that we're creating space in the lower back. A lot of the times lower back pain stems from either overactive, over tight glutes, or we're compressing the heck out of our lower back in our vinyasa practices or any other, sometimes even standing the way that we stand, we might just dump into the lower back. Another thing is lack of core strength, and we'll revisit that a few days. Actually, I think we're going to do that next week. We'll revisit that in strengthening the core to protect the lumbar spine. But really here today, we're focused on creating length in the back and creating ease in the lower part of the body. And from here, slowly, heel toe, feet together. Feet together, knees apart. So we're in an elevated Baddha Konasana, which is also means butterfly pose. If this is too intense for your hip flexors, you can do this on the floor. But I want you for the moment to just rock gently the pelvis side to side, the sacrum side to side. The knees are going to go side to side. It's a very gentle movement. You don't have to make it crazy. Just very subtle, very gentle movement of rocking. And instead of just stopping, I want you to allow the momentum of rocking to slowly come to a standstill, so that it's more of an organic stop rather than a forced one. Breath is still steady, deep and free, bringing ease to wherever you are. And we'll slowly, if you need to use your hands, use your hands. Bring the knees together. Separate the feet and knees hip width distance. Drive through your heels. Lift the butt away from the block. Take the block away, but hold here. Make sure feet are underneath the knees. Toes are facing forward. I want you to drive a little bit higher through the heart, through the tail space. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, let the upper back come down, followed by the middle of the back, followed by the lower back, and then tailbone. And then let's take knees together. Pull the knees into the heart. You wrap your shins or your hands around your knees. Back of the head remains pressing into the floor and rock side to side over the lower back. Imagine there was a grape underneath your tailbone and you were trying to squish it. Try to keep that level of grounded. And then we're going to let the hands fall off to the side like a T. Place your left foot on the floor. Place the right foot on top of left thigh. It's hanging off just a little bit. The ankle is flexed. And then pull the left knee towards the face as much as you can. Stop when you feel it through the outer right glute or maybe even the outer right thigh. From here, see the triangular space that you've created. Reach through it. Interlace the fingers at the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. Back of the head presses into the mat. And then just slowly pull. So I'm not so much pulling with my arms. It's more so I'm pulling with my shoulder blades. So I'm pulling the shoulder blades back, which is going to pull my arms a little bit, which also pulls the legs a little closer to the body. If you want more than this, you can actually take your elbows underneath the shin, pull the shin closer to you, and then maybe you attempt to extend left leg out in front of you. Now from here, try to keep a straight left leg. That means even if it doesn't come to the floor, try to keep it straight. We're not here for too much longer. In fact, we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. If you extend it, replace the ankle back onto the shin or back onto the thigh. Release the left foot and then drop. There's 2 options. You can eagle cross right knee around the left or just keep figure 4. Drop right foot over to the left and look to your right. One more breath. Let it go. Woo, that was kind of loud. Let it go. I was like, almost had to burp or something right there. Slowly bring it back to center. Release the right foot to the floor. We can't all be perfect, guys. Place the left foot on top of right thigh. Keep the foot flexed to protect the left knee. Start to draw the right knee in towards the chest as much as you can. Stop. When you feel kind of like that brick wall sensation, like, oh, if I go any further, I'm definitely going to force it. Don't force it. Interlace the fingers or the fronts of the shins. Now, naturally, you're going to be able to pull just a little bit more, but really stop when you feel like you have hit the brick wall. Don't go any further than that. Allow yourself to breathe into that space and get used to it. Adapt to it. This is all about adapting the nervous system to prefer the good things that we are doing now instead of the bad things that we have been doing. It's taking a while for your body to get this tight, guys. It's going to take a little longer. It's going to take a little while to get it untight as well. It doesn't happen overnight because our bad habits don't happen overnight either. If you want to, interlacing or elbows underneath the shin, extending right leg forward. Back of the head still pressing down, right leg is straight. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Slowly bring it back up. Release the hands off to the side like a T. And then dropping left foot over to the right, or option to eagle, cross, which is a deeper twist. Take your gaze over to the left. Last breath. Let it go. See, that's how smooth it was supposed to be on the other side. Release the left foot to the floor. One last thing before we get into Shavasana. Think about cat and cow and the way that we're on our hands and knees. Think about the motion of arching and rounding. So what I want you to do is arch the tail. So try to get the lower back. If you took your hand underneath your lower back, there'd be a space underneath it. There'd be a cave. And then I want you to round, press your lower back. Think about tucking the tail and then arching. So it's going to be just like cat and cow. So the inhale, I want you to arch. Exhale, I want you to round. Arms overhead. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. In. Arch. Out. Round. So the in. Arch. Out. round. We'll do that one more time. In and then out. Release the hands by the sides. Pull your knees into your chest. Wrap your forearms around your shins or your hands around your knees. Take your forehead to your knees. A deep inhale. This is love. This is freedom. Release into Shavasana. Palms open. Eyes closed. If you need to, bend your knees again. Otherwise, just relax. So at first, also one key point is it might not feel the greatest right after practice, but it slowly starts to create space. So you might have an experience of, oh my gosh, it feels amazing right now. Or the experience of, oh, it feels almost the same. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the healing to do its work, or for the practice to do its work. Allow the breath to be soft. I'll leave you guys here. You can stay as long as you'd like. I thank you so much for joining practice, for joining space today. Namaste.